Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about pull requests and being an imposter. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Hi Frederick, recently I have just completed my second month at Amazon and I feel worthless. I've made 0 pull requests my entire time here and only completed some support tickets here and there, and also I have a project I will be working on which will involve me and one other junior who knows a bit more than me, with about 2 years of work experience. With respect to this project, neither him or I really understand it well, but our manager has faith that we will get it done by the deadline of 4 months. How do I accomplish this deadline if I've not even made a pull request yet, and what are my best steps of going forward? I would not like to get fired, and I think working here for at least a year would open up doors and be a huge boost to my resume. Lastly, what would occur if I get fired at the 6-month mark? Well, pretty much the same thing that would happen if you got fired after 1 year. It's just the recruiters usually they look at years of experience. 1 year is a longer period of time than 6 months, so that's always good for you. But even if like if it's 6 months or it's whatever I mean, it's not like you don't have a career anymore. It's just a better situation to be in. But the recruiters will still like consider your CV for the junior roles. That much I can tell you. It's as I said, you're still like educated or like you've studied, I assume, or maybe you're self-taught. I'm not sure, but you have some work experience, so you don't have to worry that like it's over for you. The thing that is good to know though is that make sure that you have a good explanation too. Like you don't, they might not even ask you why you got, why you left your last like job or so forth, and you can always be a little bit flexible with the truth and so forth and so forth, and say that it wasn't like a good environment or so forth and so forth. Like, just give them your personal thoughts on how it was to work in this environment, and try to be a little bit like you don't have to go all the way and just give them a wailing song about how you got fired and that you're worthless and all of this sort of stuff, because that doesn't sound so good, right? But you can always tell them that things weren't working out for you because like there was a lot of pressure and so forth, and you weren't really ready for working like completely autonomously like that without a more experienced software developer or something like that. And you might not even have to say that you got fired. It's really up to you. My tip to you is just have a good answer for if somebody asks you about it. And actually, guys, this is like the same thing for most people who get fired. Having a good answer is most of it, because you're still gonna get tested. They're gonna check your skills, and so if you pass the Amazon code interview or like the coding test or so forth, I'm pretty sure, I hope at the very least, that you will be able to do that again with some other company or so forth and so forth, because like it's not like Amazon is the only it's not the only company in town, and plenty of other companies are going to do an interview with you, see that you have some skills, and like give you a shot, especially if you've already worked for a little while. So that's the thing you can sort of calm down about, I hope, at the very least. The thing that you should be asking though is, why are you not making any pull requests? Because if you're not making pull requests, then I'm not sure, I don't know if that means that you're not coding or not, but it's a very good idea for you to get on that fairly soon and sort of ask yourself what's going on here. Is it that you're stuck? Well, if you're stuck, why haven't you made any progress? Is it because you don't understand? Are you googling for answers? Don't you find any answers? Have you tried experimenting with things in the code? Have you asked your coworker with the 2 years of experience, can they help? That's sort of the game as a software developer. It's really down to you figuring out stuff. And this is one of those things that makes this profession a little bit unique. You don't really have any other way of going forward. Like, you basically have to be quote unquote smart enough or have the coding skills, so so forth and so forth, to solve the problem that you're dealing with. And as a junior, you don't have as much experience to draw upon, so it's tougher. But it's still the same process. I did it, everybody I know did it, and I still do it. And practically everybody I know still does it as well. It's not like I know everything, so I have to search for answers and ask for help sometimes if there's something I don't understand. It's just that the times I have to do it and what I ask about and so forth is different from yours, but it's still the same process, exactly the same process. So that's the thing that I would take a look at, because your situation will not improve by not coding. So try to do small things. If you're trying to solve gigantic problems or big stories, so I don't know, because you haven't given me any information as to what's going on. You're just not making pull requests, so I can't really give you specific advice. But in essence, try to break down the problem into small sub stories or smaller problems, and see if you can get some commits going. Do you know what you're building? Do you have an understanding of how it should work? If you don't know how it should work, then ask about it. It's that simple. So what I want you to take away from this is that, well, if you're not making any pull requests, then I assume that means that you're not working. Or are you coding whatsoever? I don't know. And so if you want my advice for the best steps forward, well, start coding. Because as a junior software developer, there's nothing more important for you or for the company, for your future. When you get to be a senior level software developer, you can get by without basically coding in the wrong or right company, depending on how you look at it. There's plenty of senior profiles who gave up coding a long time ago and just sort of fuck around and help out with documentation and support and facilitation and stuff like that. But as a junior, nothing is more important to you. This is what you should be doing, because it's the thing that's going to teach you all the things you need to learn about this field, and it's the most critical thing, because without it you're useless as a software developer. So that's why you should focus on it. And so if you get stuck, Google for answers, ask for help from your coworkers, things like that. Everybody does it the exact same way, myself included. And should you get fired, it's the same process as it is for everything. It doesn't look so good, of course, but you can always mitigate that. You might not even have to mention it, so forth and so forth. Your career isn't over because you get fired. Trust me, I've been fired. Well, and I know other people who have gotten fired as well. So it's not something that you have to, it's not the end of the line for you, because what's going to happen is that when you go to the next one, when you get the next interview, well, maybe it becomes a problem, maybe it doesn't. Just try to explain it as well as you can, have a good answer to why you left your last job. That's a very good thing. And then the rest comes down to, can you pass the code interview? That's how it goes. And it's the same deal whether you get fired or you don't get fired. You don't get extra points for, how many years you work or so forth. That's just something that works if you're dealing with an incompetent company that doesn't have a good hiring process, because it always comes down to the same thing. You, as a software developer, you're always in a continued state where you prove that you know your things. Always. This job is it's based on this. Every single company that you're going to go to and so forth have some type of gateway system. Sometimes that's not 100% true, but on average you can always expect that. And if you passed Amazon's code interviews, I feel pretty confident that you will be able to pass another code interview. So don't worry so much about that. Have a great day.